Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rob, we are DURC. Today we're going to take a look at how to waterproof your receiver. What we've got in front of us here is FTX Outback Hi-Rock, which you might also know it as an RGT Pioneer, the EX86110 I believe it is. So that's what it's known outside of the UK. So this is your receiver box. Now, even though it is in a little receiver box, it's not actually sealed, so it's not actually waterproof. So what we're going to do, there's a few different options for how we could waterproof it. You know, we could get a proper sealed receiver box like, you know, Traxxas and Armour and people like that use. Or you could, you know, seal it yourself with some silicone or something like that, or with a rubber seal. But what we're going to do, because we like just trying things out crazily on this channel, we are going to try and go old school. We're going to get a couple of latex balloons. We are going to open up our receiver box. We're going to wrap our receiver in a couple of balloons, and then we are basically going to go swimming in the forest, local woods to us, where we've got a nice deep stream. It'll be a bit of a test as to how waterproof it makes it. I'll just quickly show you around the truck so you can see it. So like I said, this is your receiver box. Now you can see, you know, the Dean's ends, connectors and everything like that are a little bit crusty because this has been in the sea as well as numerous streams already, but normally it's okay most of the time. But I have had the odd instances where when it's gone in deep water or it's been splashed, you know, it does have a bit of a moment and doesn't want to work properly. So, you know, I'm hoping it's just because the receiver's getting so wet. So yeah, so we're basically going to pop this receiver box off, we'll put our balloons on, and then we'll zip tie it all up, see if it's nice and watertight, and then we will take it for a rip and get it very, very wet and see if it survives. Okay, so I'll just show you the screws and everything that you need to undo to get to the receiver box. So basically you have one here, oh, if we can focus, we've got one there, one here, and then you've got two just on the top here and here. And they just basically hold the receiver box in. Once you take those out, you can just get to the receiver. So we will just undo the screws and we'll take a look. So we've got these screws over here. So just pop those out. Okay, that's one out. Then we're going to get this screw right here. Now obviously just bear in mind if your RC is a bit either old or, you know, it has been exposed to water, you know, you can find that sometimes your screws can be a little worse for wear. Obviously with them being hex heads, you know, they can have a tendency to round off, so just be careful that they don't round off on you. And we will do these two here. This is basically the center brace that holds the receiver box in place. Let's get that out. Pull that out in a second. And then we got our last screw right here. So this switch here, which I don't know if you can see, there's a switch here going in the top. This is going to be for your lights. So just pop that out to remember which channel it was in. The actual piece is coming out all the way. We're going to slide our aerial off. And we'll get our screw. Get our last little screw out. And then what we can see, we lift this up. So there's our receiver. So the aerial goes through the top. It's actually a 5-channel receiver on the Hi-Rock, or RGT as you call it. But if we just take a little look, so you can see that it's not sealed. There's no seal inside the box, and there's no seal around there. And obviously it's got these bits here which are exposed. So obviously, you know, if you do go in water, the water's just going to go in there, fill up, and then obviously your receiver's going to be swimming under the water. Now they do say these trucks are waterproof, but you know, I don't think they're as waterproof as they say they are. I think a lot of times they're splash proof, not waterproof. Although to be fair, you know, I have given this one a bit of a hard time in the sea water and everything. It's been upside down in rock pools. It's been, you know, over this height in rock pools. It's been in the sea. And it still works, but I thought, you know, the next challenge, let's full on go submarine and see if it can survive. So we've got our receiver. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pop the aerial out. Okay, and the plan is we turn it this way. Hopefully you can see. Turn it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the aerial that way as well, and then we'll put our balloon over it, and then we'll put a double balloon over it, and then we'll zip tie that. So I'm going to put my gloves off because balloons and gloves don't go together. So we're going to get our balloon. There we go. Nice little kids party balloon. Don't tell the kids I pinched it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tuck this out of the way a bit. We're going to get our aerial without obviously damaging it. We're going to get our balloon, and you're going to have to kind of peel it back. Which, you know, if you're used to doing this for other things, then it shouldn't be too bad. Just obviously just be careful you don't rip it. And obviously if you've got big fingers like me, then it can be a little bit tricky. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get your receiver. You're just going to push this over all the way. Nice and easy. Get that aerial tucked out of the way, and then just pull this out. Now obviously you don't want it to come up too far, because these cables, you still want them to go through these little recesses that you've got down here. But you obviously want it to cover the wires and enough that it could create a waterproof seal. Now we'll stick a second balloon over the top, and then we'll zip tie it. What you could also do as well, which I'm not going to do at the moment, but what you could also do as well is you could put some sealant in here and then zip tie it up, which would obviously create a bit of a better seal. Get our zip tie. Gonna make sure our balloon's over. Make sure our aerial's okay in there. And then we'll get our zip tie. We'll stick it around. Pull some of this out of the way. Get our zip tie. Zip tie it up. Obviously we want it to be nice and tight so it pinches that balloon in at the top. And what we'll do that and get the old trusty snips, which don't actually work very well, but I've had them for ages, you know, like part of the family. I could probably chew through my teeth better. Okay, right, and then we will get our second balloon. Looks like a lovely sight, doesn't it? Looks like what's happening to me when I'm older. Okay, and then what we're going to do, probably should have squeezed the air out of it first, but you know, minor details. Okay, we're going to get our second balloon. Just stretch it out. And we're going to stick it over the top, just like we did the first one. That's a bit more complicated now because it's obviously sticking to the other balloon. So if we take that over the top of the first balloon, and hopefully we can seal the second one over the first one. That's the plan. Second balloon is on. Okay, so we'll stick another zip tie around there. Okay, so put our zip tie on. Okay, and then we'll snip that up as well, using the old trusty snips. Whee, first time. Doesn't normally happen. Okay, so now you've got it in your balloon. Okay, now obviously you're going to want to stick your balloon back in here, get your receiver box and everything. So obviously first thing you want to do is you've got these two little holes which you might just about see the light creeping through. Basically run your aerial back through the little holes, which is going to be the furthest back one. Okay, so it comes out the top, like so. Okay. Okay guys, I've decided to do something slightly different. So instead of putting it back in the receiver box, I'm just going to actually zip tie it onto here. And I thought, you know, fair test. It'll be completely out of the receiver box, just on here, 2 balloons, and then we'll basically see if it survives. So I'm just going to zip tie it back on here, tidy these wires up, pop the aerial on, and then we will take it out and give it a rip. So screw that center brace into the receiver box. The receiver box holes, which I think at some point, if this worked with a balloon, I might just get rid of that receiver box and just get a new, like a Traxxas or a armor one, and see if we can mount it in either a different place, or you know, even if it's in the same place, just make a little plate to mount it onto, just so the receiver is in a box, because it'd be nice just to have it protected from like stones and stuff like that. Okay, right, so we've got that. So obviously there's 2 zip ties on here. So there's 1 zip tie there on the second balloon, and there's 1 zip tie on the inside on the first balloon as well. So hopefully it should be watertight, but there's only one way to find out.
Oh, she's under. Oh. Yes!
Hi guys, okay, so it's the next day. We were out yesterday with the Hi-Rock, obviously taking it for a swim. So we're basically going to see if it still works, and we'll have a look and see if there's any water damage just inside the car. So let me just pop you down, we'll pop the pins off, and then we will take a look. Lights. Okay, so let's take a little look. So obviously there's our balloon. Looks like it's done a pretty good job. So we've got our transmitter on. Let's switch it on. It's a good start. Turned on. Let's see if we still got steering. Take these cables out of the way a minute. Excellent. See if we still got drive. Excellent. Well, I'd say that was a successful test. Looks pretty dry. Balloon worked. Everything still works. Lights are still on. And they're still working. Which I'm surprised they survived the water as well, to be fair. So there we go. I'd say a successful test. So if you want to protect your receiver in a cheap way, pop a balloon around it. Job done. So I hope that was helpful. And like I said, obviously other options are just get a proper receiver box like a Traxxas or an Armour receiver box as a sealed unit anyway, but I mean maybe just as an extra precaution, you know, you could still just pop a balloon around it, just zip tie it up, just so even when it's in that receiver box, even if any water gets in the receiver box, it's still not going to get your receiver wet. Yeah, worth a shot for the sake of one balloon. So hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Comment down below if you like the video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks very much.